Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengal fan on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, repping the Bengals for the AFC Northerners. As you know, it's been a tough week, but before I even get started, I would like to just thank everybody who gave me well wishes about my surgery that I had on Monday. Couple tough days. Wednesday was real. Tuesday and Wednesday were really tough, but I think I've bottomed out and we're heading upwards, and had a moment, so I thought, you know what? I know I'm on a Percocet. I know I'm on cannabis, pain relievers, but I'm still going to make a video for y'all and kind of throw in my 2 cents. I might squirrel a little bit, but, you know, you got to take the good with the bad, you know? I have no idea how this video is going to come out. It could be like a dented can with no label, you know? Could be yams, could be fruit cocktail. You just don't know. So let's see what we get. Everything is going to depend on who plays. We have, which is really unusual, we have so many unknown variables. I'm trying to get a handle on this game, and I don't know, could be high scoring, could be low scoring, could be a blowout from either team. I don't think anybody really knows what's going to happen, and we're going to find out on Sunday what happens. Both coaches have done a really good job of misinformation all week. Flacco has not been ruled out. AJ has not been ruled out, although from everything I'm reading, it's really unlikely that we're going to see AJ Green or Flacco in this game. But they're trying to leave, you know, all the variables on the table, so it's hard for both teams to prepare. In terms of quarterbacks, we probably see Lamar Jackson start, but I wouldn't rule out them using RG3 and Lamar Jackson, maybe 50-50, maybe having one of them in as a receiver. You're talking about two desperate teams that desperately need this game. The Ravens probably slightly more than us. I mean, we would only fall to 500 if we lost. The Ravens are trying to get to 500. This is kind of the death blow for the Ravens if we win this game. So I think both teams are going to pull out all the stops. Now, we've already had a coaching shakeup, and we'll go over that a little bit. But in terms of personnel, the only players that have been ruled out for us are Vigil, Preston Brown, and Croft. Seeing Preston Brown ruled out this week is just not good. I mean, even if Tez is back, we're still so lean on our linebackers. It just makes the fact that we didn't take Bruce Irvin off of waivers, it makes me even more angry when I think about that. He was just right there for the taking. Dre, Ross, and Tez are all listed as questionable, so hopefully we'll see. We could use everybody we can get, even if Ross is just out there as a decoy. I know he caught a touchdown pass, but it's hard to be excited. He doesn't create separation. He's not good at contested balls. It's just he's still so raw. It's hard to really be excited, you know, oh, Ross is in the lineup, we're cured. No, we're not. So that's where we see things. I'll get into a prediction in a little bit, but like I said, you know, your guess is as good as mine. Let's talk about the Jacksons. Okay, it's not Janet Jackson or Michael Jackson. We're going to talk about Hugh Jackson and Lamar Jackson. Now, with Lamar Jackson, he could come out and he could light us up. There's not a lot of film on him. There's just a handful of plays from this season, so you really have to go back and watch a lot of his college video, but it's a different scheme. And so with Lamar Jackson, I'm just hoping that we get kind of a Jameis Winston kind of performance where he gives us, you know, 3 or 4 interceptions, turnovers, you know, just he's not that accurate a passer. He wasn't at Louisville. So we can disrupt him. So we'll just see. Our just tackling has been so bad this whole season. Just defensive fundamentals have been so bad. It's hard to gain any confidence thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to take Jackson out. I mean, he could pull Deshaun Watson on us and our guys could just look like the Keystone Cops missing tackles. I just don't know. So that's the one Jackson we talked about. Let's talk about Hugh Jackson. And I know there was kind of people, first of all, I said before that we were going to at least bring this guy on as a consultant. It would have been stupid not to. We have 2 games left with the Browns. He has intimate knowledge about the roster. We were going to bring him back in some capacity. The events of this last week kind of probably pushed him to a higher job position than he would have gotten. From what I'm understanding, and you still can't get any kind of a cohesive breakdown of what the roles are going to be by these guys. Marvin is taking over the play calling and is going to acting as defensive coordinator. Laser is still there as our offensive coordinator, which I have no problem with. I'm not looking to tweak the offense. I think if our defense did better jobs, our offense would feel supported a little more and might score some more points. And Hugh Jackson is being brought in as an assistant to the head coach. So from what I'm reading, he's supposed to be filling in where Marvin's busy with the defense, checking on special teams, overseeing stuff. Listen, guys, Hugh Jackson is a very, very capable coordinator and assistant. With any other team, this probably wouldn't work, but he's such close friends with Marvin Lewis that there's not a threat. You're taking my job. You're not taking my job. There's none of that going on. He's going to fall into a position here where he can really help us out. And I just want to point out, the last 3 years, Hugh Jackson was with this team. The Bengals went 10-6, 12-4, and 11-5. So any contribution he can make that's going to turn us back into, a winning team, I'll take it. It's definitely worth the gamble. And like I said, with the Browns games, he's going to give us intimate knowledge on those too. Do you realize that coming up this week, we could have Marvin Lewis returning to the team that he won a Super Bowl with as a defensive coordinator, and he could win as a defensive coordinator this week. And then in 2 weeks, Hugh Jackson could start the travel of putting 2 losses on the Browns schedule from the other sideline. So he could be responsible for 2 more losses in Cleveland, just not as the head coach. So that whole thing kind of sounds really appealing, and we're going to see how this kind of thing plays out. I know that Marvin and Hugh are kind of like this odd couple, but it kind of seems to work. And I see Hugh Jackson more of kind of a Norv Turner, a Wade Phillips, a guy that has a really good football mind, and players love him. If nothing else, we're going to get a spark out of him. Just the locker room and the offensive. He's returning. This is a guy who was there when Gio was drafted. There are a lot of guys who are going to be very, very happy to see Hugh Jackson. But I just see him as one of those guys that he's not a good head coach. And he should be a coordinator. Look at the job that Norv Turner is doing with Cam Newton this year. You just have to, these are guys that really, they just shouldn't be head coaches, but they certainly should have jobs in football because they're very capable people. And that's what I think about with you. So anything can happen. We have our new coaches. I've looked at some of the Baltimore tweets and been researching, and I see a Baltimore fan base that really wants coaching change. So they might be happy with the loss this week after everything's said and done, if it means that they're going to get the change they're looking for, because they're also looking for change. They're people that aren't wacko for Flacco, and they're looking to move on. So we've got a couple fan bases that are going to be, don't know what to expect. I don't think anybody knows what to expect this week, and you're kind of going to get what you're going to get. And I'm really looking forward for the first time. I mean, I knew there was going to be a high scoring game against the Saints. We knew what we had in the other games. This game, there's so many unknowns. Hey, could be yams, could be fruit cocktail. I would like to take a moment and just thank the people at West Hills Hospital who were really good to me. I was in a really weird situation where there was not a lot of people at the hospital because I was in West Hills, which was an evacuation area. And so I had really bad cell service and internet service because the fire department had taken most of the cell towers in the neighborhood. But they had cleared out the hospital on Friday, Saturday. So Sunday night, they started taking patients back in. I checked in Monday for my surgery. So there wasn't a really crowded hospital, and I got really good service. But I want to thank everybody at West Hills Hospital over on 4 West. I was on the 4th floor for some great care and getting out of the hospital. If any of you are interested, it's a robotic surgery. I had 2 inguinal hernias. I only thought I had 1. We found out I had 2. I had 2 inguinal hernias, and they also did an umbilical hernia. So I got 3 for 1. So I'm pretty sore. Hopefully we didn't squirrel too much here on you. I kind of gave you my 2 cents on the game. I'm getting better each day, so hopefully you'll see a little more chipper person on Sunday. So you certainly will if the Bengals could figure out a way to win this game. I'm going to call out. I know this video is running a little longer than I usually do, but I want to call out our defensive line. Guys, we really need you. I rewatched parts of the game last week. Dunlap, Michael Johnson, Geno, Billings, you guys have got Hubbard. You guys have got to get more of a push. We're so lean on linebackers. We need you guys to step up. You have to create havoc. We have to delay early in the backfield. So it's really, really important. Of all the parts of our defense that are the most important, obviously our safeties and secondary are very important, but our defensive line, it all starts with you. If you get pressure, you're going to force those interceptions. You're going to delay guys so we can make tackles. So really, really, really need the defensive line to step up. And the last thing I want to do is, over the last month, it was my birthday last month, so I treated myself. As you can see, I have just a few pieces of memorabilia, and this, what's behind me, is just the tip of the iceberg. But I treated myself to some pictures and some stuff late last month, for my birthday. And one of the things I purchased, which I want to share with you, is a Tyler Boyd photo. I think this came from Alan Applegate, is I think the guy who I got this from. So shout out to you. But it's a Tyler Boyd picture, and look at that. It says 4th and 12. 4th and 12. Well, if nothing else, he's returning to the scene of the 4th and 12 last year. And I would really, really like to see another great, stunning, culminating catch that just would be awesome for you to return to the scene of the crime and stick the dagger in the Ravens season once and for all. So with that, I'm going to say fuck you to Marvin Lewis until we win a playoff game, and step up and show us that you still have that defensive magic this week. And a double fuck you to Mike Brown again, because I'm sitting here with Preston on the DL, or listed out this week. This isn't baseball, it's not DL. But with Preston Brown listed out this week, we could have had Bruce Irvin there. So a double fuck you to Mike Brown until we win the Super Bowl, and until you start spending some money on this team and showing us that you care. And with that, I will tell everybody, check out the other videos on this channel, and we'll see you after the game. And hooday, everybody. And thanks again for all the well wishes following surgery. Thanks, everybody.